And making sure that your LinkedIn profile is going to be optimized is going to be an ongoing activity. It depends on what you're doing in your market or your niche, and you're going to want to make sure that your profile reflects what it is that you're doing or what it is that you're marketing. But there are some basics that we need to look at. We're going to do that here. The one thing you're going to want to do before you start this process is to make sure that you know and understand the profile size images that you can place in LinkedIn. And this is going to vary over time. So you want to go to your favorite search engine and you want to just type in the search words LinkedIn profile size. And any of the articles that are authoritative, you want to look at those articles so you can determine what the images are going to be in terms of sizing. Now, this article, you'll see the word pulse here. That means then that the individual that wrote it isn't necessarily representing LinkedIn, but it could be authoritative. It does appear in the search results, and we can look at that article to determine if we have the right sizes for what we're going to be undertaking. Now, what you search for may vary. The article that you choose may vary. What you want to have are the sizing images for all of the areas of your promotion. For example, we're looking here at the LinkedIn profile picture size, 400 by 400. You are going to be able to crop that image, and then also the banner and background photo size, 1584 by 396. Now that's as of the recording of this video. Remember, that might change. Now this person included in their research that there are danger zones when you're creating the banner. This is something that you'll want to pay attention to. Now, in fact, this article is a good guide on things you can do to make sure your profile is going to be optimized. Now, assuming your profile picture is what you want, we're going to make sure that we get the right banner size. If you use Canva, Canva does have its own LinkedIn size guide. You can also use that as a benchmark for how it is you're going to be creating your images. In fact, if you do a search within Canva for a LinkedIn banner, you're going to see a number of banners available that are customizable that are going to be at the size that you want. And so you can take the one that looks like what you want to portray, and you can go in and you can make customizations to it. So we're just going to use the preset template, and we're going to use it at the size set by Canva. I'm going to go ahead and download this template. And what we can do within the profile editor is we can click upload for the photo, and we're just going to grab the photo. Now, if you need to reconfigure or reposition it, you can typically do that from within LinkedIn. You can add in filters and make adjustments to it. What we're going to do is just apply it. And once you have the photo image there, you can optimize the rest. You don't need to spend an inordinate amount of time on this. If you find a guide on optimization, you want to use it and then move on to another area of marketing with LinkedIn. So we're just going to click add a profile section. And you do want to make sure that these things are done. You're going to see that you've got about, you've got education, you have your position, and you want to add in any skills that you feel are going to be relevant to attract the people that are going to be in your niche. Now, LinkedIn wants you to add in any certifications or any recommendations that you have, and you can do that here. And there are additional categories. Now, when you go about this process, you really do have to think about who you're trying to attract when you do this. Again, all these things are going to be basic. As you begin to attract more people using LinkedIn, you're going to make adjustments to this, but you do want to start out with the basics in place. Now, there are other elements such as making sure that your call to action is going to be available. We're going to click making sure that we edit this intro. And if you scroll down to this area, what you're going to see is that you have a website that you can place in here. Whatever your call to action is, you do want to make sure that that's available. And you can actually add in text that will make that link more visible. Once you have all of your information in, you can then click save. What you'll then see on your profile is that you have a call to action link that people are going to be able to click if they choose to. So again, making sure that you have the basics in place is going to be important before you get into the rest of the entire process of begin to promoting your products and services and anything else that you are doing. And that is the end of this process. Now, you've seen a place where you're going to be able to put a website link onto your LinkedIn profile. And since this is going to be the page where most people are going to start when they're checking you out, or when they're deciding whether or not they want to become a connection, or even if they want to do business with you, you want to be specific about where you want people to go. And you want to optimize that process. And so whatever your goal is for LinkedIn, if you're trying to bring people to a sale, if you're trying to build your list, You want to make sure that everything from the time that they click that link to actually getting what it is that you are giving them is going to be optimized. It's going to be a short process, and that they get what they're looking for when they see your profile. So again, coming back to this area, what we can see is that if we go here, we can dictate what this website is going to be. And you want to direct people to some place where they're going to be able to join your marketing list or get inside of your marketing funnel. Now we're inside of the page builder Optimized Press. This is actually an older version of Optimized Press. And it doesn't matter which page builder you use. You don't have to use Optimized Press. Right now we're working on a website that's in WordPress. Optimized Press is a template, so we're going to use it. You can use whichever template you want to use or whichever page building system you want to use in order to do what we're going to talk about next. Now probably the easiest thing to do is going to be to use some kind of opt-in page template. What you're basically going to do is to give the person who's coming to this page a reason to give you their name and email address. Now you want to make sure that there's going to be website copy or traditional copywriting in terms of your headline, anything else that you say on this page. What you're trying to sell people on is going to the next step and giving you their name and email address. If you're wondering about the basic elements of copywriting and you're trying to figure out exactly what you can place there in terms of a headline to get people to take the next step, you can go to your favorite search engine. You can do a search. If you write in the words David Fry and you spell Fry, F-R-E-Y, sales letter, and then 12, look for one of the listings about David Fry's 12-step sales letter, whether you're writing copy for your opt-in page or whether you're writing out an entire sales page. Now for the sake of this video, we're not going to change the wording on this headline. We're going to assume that you're going to write the headline in as well as a subheadline in the way you want it to be. What we want to focus on is the opt-in process. Now in Optimized Press, we do have control over this. So if we go here, what we're going to do is we're going to edit this opt-in process, and we're going to put the person into an autoresponder that we have already set up and connected to our Optimized Press site. Now in this case, we've connected several autoresponders to Optimized Press. The one we have connected right now is going to be MailChimp. Whatever your autoresponder is going to be, that's the autoresponder you want to use, and you want to connect it to or integrate it with your paging system. So we're going to integrate MailChimp into our paging system. Again, now this was set up ahead of time. So our paging system can now see inside of our autoresponder box. So we're just going to grab one of the lists, and so that everybody that comes to that page and gives us their name and email address, they're going to be placed inside of this particular list inside of MailChimp. Now depending on what you're promising the person when they opt in, here's where you're going to send people to something that you want them to see. Now certainly what you can do is you can send them to this thank you page and you can deliver what it is that you have promised them on the opt-in page. But if you do that, the person then has no incentive to make sure that their email address is confirmed and that they're part of your list. So you do want to place something here in the thank you page. You just don't necessarily have to put what you are delivering to them in this particular slot. Now, right now you're looking at a sales page, and it's a good thing to do to make an offer there in that thank you page slot, because what's happened is the person has given you their name and email address. They're now going to become part of your email marketing list if they confirm. So in some cases, it may be beneficial to show that person an offer even though it's right away. What we can do with this particular template is where you see this box, we want to give them an opportunity to again get something free from us, but we want them to go through our shopping cart process. Now this is a case where you can use whichever shopping cart that you want. What we want to be able to do is we want to give the person an opportunity to click on a button and to go through our shopping cart process and to get something free. First of all, it could be the first introduction to someone going through our process, will help when we make future offers so the process will not be foreign to them. So inside of this shopping cart, which is called Thrive Cart, we're going to set up a free offer. And so we can go here to the pricing, and we're not going to do this one-time payment. In fact, we're going to remove this. And what we're going to do is we're going to set the product price. We're just going to leave this as a one-time fee, no trial period, and we're going to make this a free offer. And you'll notice here the shopping cart recognizes that when this price is going to be zero, that this is going to be a free offer. No limited quantity available, although we could do that. We could limit this. What we're doing then when we set a limit is we're saying to the person that even though this is free, there's some scarcity to this. So we can do that in order to get people to move faster. And we're going to click next here. So we have our one-time payment. We're going to click save. Now this is not a full-blown session on ThriveCart. So we're going to go through part of the process, and we're going to get a link for this particular button that we're creating for the person to click on and to get our free offer. Now ThriveCart does give us some interesting opportunities when we talk about out-of-stock options, because we set a limit on the number of these free products that we're going to be able to give away. And what we can do is we can say that when all 100 copies are given away, we can actually have the technology take some kind of action. So we can go here to the drop-down menu. What we can do is we can redirect the individual to another page. We can reset the countdown, or we can replace the cart with a message. We probably don't want to send the person away. We probably don't want to redirect to another page. Now, resetting the countdown is not necessarily a great thing, because what we're doing is we're almost playing games with people. We're saying to people, if they take action and they're one of the people to get the 100, then they've gotten the offer. If they don't, they'll miss it. So we probably don't want to reset the countdown. So the best of all alternatives is to send the people to another URL. And we can send people to another URL on our domain. Now this URL doesn't have to be no more stock. We're just using this. We're going to go ahead and save those settings. And so now this is set. The important part of this process is going to be the behavior in ThriveCart, the way that we make sure that when the person clicks on that button and they actually get what we promised them, that they become part of our list. And so what we can do is we can add a rule here, and we're just going to add the person to a MailChimp list. Now, MailChimp in this case works the same way as it did with our paging system, because what we've done is we pre-connected MailChimp to ThriveCart. So that's why when we go to this place and you see MailChimp in the menu, that's why it's there. It's not there because it's there by default. We've already connected it before we started this session. So we're going to add them to a specific list, and ThriveCart, because it's integrated and connected, it can see inside of our account. So we have access to those lists, and we can set this list. And we're just going to click save. Now you're then going to have this button here that says save and get URL. You're going to click that button. That's going to save the entire process. You will then have a link that you can put on top of your buy button, so when the person clicks it, they'll then be getting into our marketing funnel. So now what's going to happen, the person's going to click on the button. They're going to be taken to this page. And you're going to see here that there's a 0 price, and we're also communicating scarcity by telling them that there are 100 left. So we can take this link for the checkout, and we can go back to our sales page, and we can put that link on top of our sales page. So we're going to come back here and edit this button. Again, remember, you do not have to use this page builder, and your page builder may not look like this, but you will be able to create a buy button, and you will be able to link that buy button to some kind of checkout process. And that's what we're doing. What we're going to do now is we're going to place that ThriveCart link here in the link URL. If we want to, we can have it open in a new window. If that's our preference, we can do that. So this is not a full-blown tutorial on how to set up sales pages. We're just going to close this page out, and we're going to look at it in real time. So what we've now done is we've now said that when the individual comes to this page, which we're going to put in that thank you page link, they're going to click this button. They're then going to be taken to a page. And that's where they're going to be taken to this page. They're going to go through our shopping cart process. They're going to get the product for free. And we'll have taken that opportunity to collect the email address. Now, if we really want to optimize that process, what we can do is take that product where the individual is going to get something free, and then we can have them see another offer as soon as they accept that offer. We can do that through what's called a funnel. So we're going to click Edit Funnel. And what we're going to do is we're going to give them an upsell offer. Now, ThriveCart has its own way of placing an upsell offer connected to that link that we just saw. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to set up an upsell, so when the person goes through the checkout process, they'll then see another offer. So again, now, however you want to communicate it, what you're going to do is you're going to place another offer on this upsell page, and then when the person goes through the checkout process, they decide they want to get the free item we promised them, they'll then immediately see this page where we're going to make another offer to buy a product or service that we sell. That person will be able to decide they don't want that offer. You see this link down here at the bottom, the no thanks link, they'll be able to click that link to decide, no, I don't want the offer, and then they'll then be taken to the product that we have promised them. So the person's going to come to the page, they're going to put their contact details here in this area. They're going to click continue. Now in this case, the product is free, so there's not going to be a payment. They're going to complete the order. What you'll see then now is they're going to see an upsell order. So what we've done is we've sent the person from our LinkedIn page to a page where they can get something free or opt in. And then as soon as they go through our shopping cart process, we get the opportunity to show them an offer. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take this page and we're going to place it in the thank you page link for our opt-in process. So we come back here to the page where we have been setting up. We're going to place that link here. We can actually place the link here in the second box because what's said here is that if the user has already subscribed to our autoresponder, we don't want to try to add that individual again, but we do want them to see the offer. So whether or not they have subscribed or not, we still want them to see the same offer, so we're going to put that same offer here. Now, this page building system is the only one that works exactly like this. Every page building system is going to be different. But typically you are going to have control over the thank you page link when an individual opts into your list. So we then update. And so now we have this new opt-in page. So what we want now is we want to get this page. So we're going to get this URL, and that's the URL that we want to place inside of our LinkedIn account. So that's the link now that we're going to place here in the website area. We're going to place in that link, and we're then going to save it. What you're going to notice here is that some people will actually hover over this link. They're then going to look in their bottom left-hand corner to see where the page is going to go. And if you set up your opt-in page and the URL sounds very obvious, one thing you want to do is you can hide that link with another link from your domain. Now in WordPress, there's a process for this. There is a WordPress plugin called Pretty Links. We can open up Pretty Links and we can add in a new pretty link. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to place our URL here, and we're going to give this a more branded name. And what we can do now is we can then click update. So we now have a different looking link. What we're going to do with the pretty link, for example, we'll see here, and if you look down on the left hand side corner, you're going to see that the pretty link is going to have a better looking name, a more branded name. So we can take that name and we can place that name now in our LinkedIn area. So we come back to our profile and we're going to place that link here. So now when the individual clicks on that link, they're going to go straight to our opt-in page, and they're then going to be promised something, and they're going to get into our funnel because we're going to show them a sales page immediately. Now in your page builder and your opt-in page, you may not have the option of placing in that thank you page. That does not exist within every opt-in form. So if that's the case, and you are going to be doing double opt-in for your leads, what you want to do is you want to make sure that when that person confirms that they're shown the link that we just shared. That means what we want to control inside of our autoresponder is going to be the confirmation thank you page. That's what is called in MailChimp. It may be called something different in your autoresponder. Basically what we want to do is that when the individual who is double opting in, we want them to confirm and then be shown a page that we want them to see. Once they confirm, then the email will send them what we promised them on the actual opt-in page. So this is our opportunity to show that person the offer. We're going to go to this confirmation thank you page area, and then we're going to control this link. As you can see here in MailChimp, what happens is you can place that URL to be what you want it to be, and in this case we're going to send that person to the sales page with our other free offer. And the process is going to be the same regardless of what autoresponder you use. It may look slightly different, but it's going to be the same thing. You're now looking at get response. So what are we saying here? We are saying that when a person confirms their email, we want to have that person sent to a specific URL. If you leave the default the way it is, they're going to be sent to a confirmation page that's put together by get response. In fact, you can preview that confirmation page here. And this is the experience that most people are going to have. However, what you want to do is you want to send them to your URL. So you're going to come here to this area. You're going to place custom URL, and you're going to put your custom URL here. This is going to be the sales page with the link that goes into our funnel. And again, same process is true in Aweber. You're going to have control over your confirmation success page. What you want to place here is going to be that success page, which is going to be your sales page with your free offer. So what you're doing is you are making it possible for an individual to come to your LinkedIn page, be curious about your website, click on that website, be taken to an opt-in page to get something free, and then to be shown another free offer. And then that person will be upsold into a paid offer inside of a funnel in our shopping cart system. And what we've done is we fully optimized this process. Okay, so that is the end of this process. Now that you understand the basics of being able to optimize and send people from LinkedIn to a specific offer, what you can do is you can optimize your market segments on LinkedIn so that you only reach those people with specific offers that you want to see them. So what we want to do is we want to work with our page, and we want to use our showcase pages to reach individual niches and then to set those niches up with specific offers. So we have our company page, and this can be our general brand. And what we may want to do is we may want to work from that brand. And so in that case, we can create events, we can create posts, we can share content on our page, and that's going to be for everyone who is part of our market to be able to see. There are going to be some things that are going to be specific to segments in our audience and our market. When that's the case, what we want to start by doing is using a showcase page. So our showcase page is going to be associated with our company page, and that showcase page is going to have a specific name. When we're typing in the name of our page, what's happening is LinkedIn is trying to guess as to what the LinkedIn page name is going to be. We can go in and we can rename this. That's here where we're going to have a specific URL for our page. For now, what we're going to do is we're just going to put a placeholder here. We're going to come back to what this URL is going to be. Now, LinkedIn wants us to declare an industry, and we are going to need to take one of the pre-selected industries from LinkedIn. If we just try to write in one, we don't necessarily get to keep that one just for what we want it to be. What LinkedIn will do is it'll say, please select an industry. It wants you to select one of the ones that are here pre-filled in. We're going to brand in our profile details. And again, we're just going to create a logo. We can use Adobe Creative Cloud Express, which is a free application, or we can use the free application of Canva. It really doesn't matter, long as your image is going to be 300 by 300. So we're just going to take one of these logos, and then we're just going to adapt it to make our content. And then once we have it, we can download it to our hard drive. And we're going to upload this logo to the showcase page. Now, LinkedIn is asking you for a tagline. What we want this to be is a branded message toward the exact people that we want to see this particular page. Now, when we do this, what we really want is to discourage those who are not part of the market that we're trying to reach from coming onto this page. And you'll be able to follow your progress here on the right-hand side. Individuals will be able to come to this button. They'll then be able to follow this page. We're just going to verify this and create the page. Now, so far, when a member sees this page, they're going to be able to see this branded page. They're also going to be able to see any affiliated pages. You'll notice here that there's a button that says visit the website. You're going to be able to click that button. They'll be taken to your website. They also are going to see your website written out in the overview section. So you can come back here and edit your page. When you do that, you can go to this button section. And basically, you're going to have this drop-down menu. You want to make sure that this is going to be optimized to get people into your funnel. So if learning more means then that people are going to be curious, they're going to go and get an opt-in. If we want them to register for some kind of live session, we can have them do that. We want to be specific in what we want the person to do. Now, this URL then can be specific. If we want someone to sign up for something, we want to go ahead and set it up at a specific URL. For this case, we've already created an opt-in page. We can just grab that opt-in page. We can place that URL in the dialog box. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to place that URL in the dialog box. You're going to see that's going to change our button preview. We're going to go ahead and save this. And we can now view our page as someone else is going to view it. When we do that, what you're going to see here is that your website will then still be visible to the address you want to be seen, But what you'll also do here is you'll have a button that's going to be your best call to action. So whatever sends people into your marketing funnel to take the action you want them to take, you'll be able to direct them here from your LinkedIn page. Now, when we have completed our work with this particular brand, or let's assume that what we're going to do is stop directing people from LinkedIn to a specific page from here, we can then deactivate this show page by clicking this link, and that'll take this showcase page out of the search results. So now, assuming that we have a page that's directed specifically to an area of our niche that we want, we can then reach a different niche by using another showcase page. And all we're going to really do here is go to the admin tools, and we're going to create a second showcase page. We're going to go through the same process, but this time what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the details are different for each different marketing segment. So let's assume that we already do have this opt-in page that we are working with. And the individuals are going to come to this opt-in page. They're going to go through our process, and we're going to move them on to a free offer where they can decide to click or move on. Now, what you can typically do with any page building system is you can clone a page. So what we're going to do is we're going to clone this page because we want to use the second page to reach the second segment. In Optimized Press, this is very easy to do. We can just click Clone Page. That's going to make a second version of the page. We want to make sure that title is then going to be optimized. And then that second version of the opt-in page, we're actually going to create another opt-in. And in this case, we've got an opt-in box here. Now, this is not necessarily the way your opt-in box is going to look. We're just using this as a template because we want to demonstrate something. We're going to go into the settings of this opt-in box. And you'll notice here that we are directing people to a specific MailChimp list, just as we did with the other opt-in box. What we want to do now, though, is we want to put a thank you page URL here. Now, this is where, if we're working with a different marketing segment, we want to be able to place an offer in this area that we know is going to work. And it may not be the same offer as your other marketing segment. So what we need to do is we need to create a different sales page so that we'll be able to place it here inside of this URL. So instead of using the same sales page to place a free offer, we're going to create a different page because we're trying to speak to a different audience. We're trying to speak to them about something entirely different. That also means that instead of sending the person to the same product, if we have a product that we know is going to entice people as a free offer that's going to reach a different marketing segment, we want to set up a different offer entirely. We're back inside of our shopping cart system, which is ThriveCart. And again, you can use any shopping cart system that you want in order to do this. You want to be able to create another free offer, and then to have that other free offer also have its own upsell. So in this case, we're just going to remove this pricing option, and we're going to create a free pricing option. And again, what we can do is we can set a quantity limit so we can communicate scarcity, and we have another pricing option. When the person goes through the purchase process or buying process of this shopping cart, we want to have that person added to a specific list. Now, we currently have multiple autoresponders connected to this particular shopping cart system. So it's quite possible what we could do is we could have this person placed on a different list. Now, for the sake of this session, we're just going to use the same autoresponder that we have been using. We're going to have them added to a specific list. We're going to click Save. And now, whenever someone goes through our shopping cart system, they click the Buy button, they go through the process, they're going to be added to our MailChimp list as we have designated. Now here we have another free offer, and this is what the buyer is going to click to. But what you notice here is that we're going to do the upsell differently. In this case, we're going to make a bump offer. Now this is something that ThriveCart does in this part of the process. So basically, even though we have a free offer, as long as the buyer understands what that second offer is going to be, what they can do is they can then enable that offer right here on this page. Now, we're going to try this because we're looking at this particular market segment in a different way, and we think that they might have an affinity in a different way toward a different offer. And so instead of having the person go through an upsell process, we're going to give them the opportunity right here on the page in order to make a purchase that we may not have had otherwise. So basically, the person clicks from our LinkedIn page to the opt-in page. They're then sent to this page as a thank you page, and they then have the opportunity to add in an offer to their free content. So we now have multiple branded pages to multiple offers. So we have our first branded page and we have a second branded page with its own offer. We can further optimize this process by adding in groups to specific segments. So if we know that one segment is going to be looking for areas of collaboration and discussion, we can use LinkedIn to create a social group. And to do that, we can go inside of the groups area and we're going to create a specific group. Now let's assume that we're going to create a group for one page or marketing segment, but we're not going to create it for a second page. So in this case, we're going to create a specific group. We're going to give the group a description. LinkedIn requires you to create rules. And what we're going to do here is we're going to decide whether the group is going to be listed or unlisted. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this group unlisted because we don't want the participants to come from the search. We want them to come from areas where we have control over. So in this case, we are going to turn off the permissions. So we're not going to allow members to invite their connections, and we're going to now create the group. So we now have our group set up. Now for this one, we're not going to invite our connections. What we are going to do is we're going to use the share link from LinkedIn. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the share button. We're going to copy the link for this group. What we're then going to do is we're going to go to our segmented page. So we're going to come back to our page. We're going to go to our one page that has a market segment. And we're just going to post a link for these individuals to sign up to. We're going to add the link here. We're then going to post the link. So what we have now is we have an area where an individual will find out about a group that we've not made publicly known elsewhere on LinkedIn. So when a person clicks on this link, they'll then be able to click the button to join the group, and the group's activity will not be visible to anyone else on LinkedIn. So what we now have associated with our main page are going to be two different marketing segments. And we can see them here on the right side menu. And a person can decide on which page that they want to follow. If they decide to follow that page, they'll have a different experience depending on who they are. And both of these experiences are going to be different from the experience on our main page. Again, all of this is dictated by where we send the individual from the website button link. So determining the call to action and the page within that call to action starts the process of putting individuals in a specific marketing funnel. And that is the end of this process. Once you're enabled for LinkedIn Live, you are going to want to make sure that you can broadcast not only to LinkedIn, but to other areas. If you are reaching out and you have a presence on YouTube, you have a presence on Facebook, you may want to make sure that you're able to be seen on your website or any other streaming platform. You want to choose the right platform, and you want to use LinkedIn Live as one of many. In some cases, you may use it exclusively, but you want to be aware of the venues in which you can connect to LinkedIn Live as well as simultaneously with other venues. For example, you're now looking at YouTube Live, and we can set up for a live event within YouTube Live. And YouTube Live has a setting. And one of the settings that you can use is called a webcast. You're going to set up for your live broadcast using the webcast feature in GoToWebinar. You're going to click Schedule. Now this is different from the traditional webinar where the customer is going to need to open up software onto their desktop. This webcast is going to occur entirely in the browser, and that's going to give you the opportunity to connect to some of the other social networks, to the social networks in general, and LinkedIn specifically. If you come into the settings of this particular live session, you're going to see all the way at the bottom that you have YouTube, you have Facebook, you have LinkedIn, and you have a custom configuration. So in order to configure with YouTube, you're going to click on YouTube. And for the YouTube settings, you need a stream key and a stream URL. And so you can go into your live creation area. You can click on Go Live, and you're going to see all the information that you need here. For example, here's the stream URL, and you have the stream key. We can then head back to GoToWebinar. We can enter in that stream key. We then need to go and get our stream URL. And so we're going to grab it here. We're going to copy it. We're then going to head back to GoToWebinar, and we can enter the stream URL. So basically now, whenever our live webcast starts, we can simultaneously broadcast to our YouTube channel. We can now click Save. YouTube is now ready. We can also configure Facebook. Facebook is going to call for the same information. Facebook needs a stream key and a stream URL. And so we can choose a page where we want to go live. We can click on this area. It's here where we can create a live video event, or we can go live right now. For the sake of this video, we're just going to look at the settings so that we can determine how this works on Facebook. You're going to see the stream key right away. We're going to go ahead and copy that stream key, then head back to GoToWebinar. And we're going to enter that stream key. We then need to go and get the stream URL. So we're going to come to the advanced settings, and you'll see here that you have what's called the server URL. We can copy that URL and we can head back to GoToWebinar. And what we can do then is we can save these settings. And we're now ready inside of Facebook. We can now configure LinkedIn. So we can click on the LinkedIn configuration. The process is now going to require us to log into our LinkedIn account. We're going to need to give LinkedIn permission to connect to GoToWebinar. We're going to click Allow. We're going to choose whether to post in the member account or what's called the organization account. We're going to post in the member account, and we're going to give the post title. And we're then going to save the LinkedIn settings. Now at the end of the process in GoToWebinar, there is a custom configuration. And if you want to stream to more services than the ones you have, you can use something like the custom settings to connect to a service like Restream.io, which allows you to multi-stream to other places. For example, if you want to stream to Twitter at the same time that you are streaming to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, you can do it. And so you're going to need much of the same information. You're going to see that there is a URL. You're going to see a stream key. And this is going to allow you to connect from GoToWebinar to Restream.io. So we need to copy these URLs and keys and put them back in GoToWebinar. So now you have your custom information in, and when you go live, that means then that not only will you be broadcasting to the social networks, but you'll also be broadcasting to Restream, any sites that Restream connects to. For example, let's say that you wanted to connect to a specific channel. And you're going to see here that you have multiple channels available. Now we've already connected to Facebook Live, we've already connected to YouTube. However, we have not created to Twitch, which is also a popular streaming channel. We've not connected to Twitter, again, another popular streaming channel. And even though we've already connected to LinkedIn Live, if we were working with a second account, or if we were working with a partner, we could also broadcast to that person's LinkedIn Live also. So let's just assume that we want to use Restream in order to connect to Twitter. And so we're going to click on Connect to Twitter. Twitter is going to need for us to authorize, and we are now connected. We can add in other Restream channels. Now that was just an example. If we wanted to connect to more channels using Restream, we could do it. Now Restream.io and services like it provide a more logical connection to all of the social media sites at the same time. And basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be using some kind of streaming service to broadcast into Restream, and then Restream is going to broadcast to the various social media sites. You are going to need to go through a setup process of the social media sites and LinkedIn Live. Now, as of the recording of this video, Restream has its own option. And basically what you are allowed to do is you can stream from Restream, and you can use Restream.io in order to share your screen or your webcam. And if you use it in that way, you don't have to have a third-party service in order to stream into. Traditionally, what you would do is you would take a service like Zoom or GoToWebinar and you'd stream into Restream. However, you can use the Restream Studio in order to share your stream and webcam to the various social media sites. Now, we've already been through the process of setting up Twitter. We are going to want to set up more destinations. So if we click on Add Destination, we want to have access to some of these other destinations. But of course, what we mainly want to focus on is being able to connect to LinkedIn. So in this case, we want to click this button that says LinkedIn. We need to decide whether we're going to add our personal profile or a specific page in LinkedIn. Now that we've connected LinkedIn Live, what we need to do now is broadcast our content. Again, we can use the Restream.io studio. What you can also do is set up a connection with a third-party service like Zoom. Now another service similar to Restream.io is called StreamYard. We can also stream to multiple destinations, and you wouldn't need a third-party platform like Zoom in order to do it. In order to connect LinkedIn Live to StreamYard, you click on Add a Destination. You then need to decide whether or not you're going to add in your LinkedIn page or your profile. For the sake of this video, we are going to add in our LinkedIn profile. If you are already logged into your LinkedIn account, you can click this button that says Connect LinkedIn. You can then choose your profile. Now, for the sake of this video, the profile that we're using is going to be grayed out. However, we're just going to click on top of the profile in order to access the profile. Now that we are connected to StreamYard, doing a broadcast is fairly straightforward. You're going to come into StreamYard. You're going to create a new broadcast. We're going to click on the LinkedIn profile and the YouTube profile and then move forward. We're first going to click on the LinkedIn profile. We're going to need to write in a title. We're also going to select our YouTube channel. Ordinarily, we would also connect to our YouTube channel, which is also part of our account. We're just going to stream to our LinkedIn Live account. We're now going to create the broadcast. StreamYard will tell you you're entering their broadcast studio. You can choose and give StreamYard access to your mic and your camera, which you will need to do in order to enter their online studio. We're going to allow, and we're going to enter the studio. We're going to click this area to add our audio to the stream, and then we're going to go live. And so we are now broadcasting live to our Facebook profile. You will notice the fact that the camera is being grayed out. What we're doing is a demonstration of the live process. Once the broadcast is ended, you can click on End Broadcast, and you will then end the broadcast. And what you'll see on your profile activity is the fact that your live video appeared on your timeline. So what you can do is you can use a streaming program like Restream. You can broadcast from GoToWebinar or a program like Zoom into Restream in order to reach out to the other platforms. Or you can choose to use the Restream Studio, and you won't need a third-party program in order to create the live video. Or you can use a platform like StreamYard, which will allow you to stream to multiple locations and also not needing a third-party system in order to create the live video. And that is the end of this process.